I'm going to do a quick video on this one as a special request. Um, I see stuff like this all the time, and just because I don't post a video, there may be people that thinks I'm don't have that much work or that I'm not doing that much. Um, for me, a lot of this was just normal everyday stuff, maintenance stuff, tune-up, alignment, solder joints. For example, this past weekend, I took the kids to Rock City, and you know, the youngest one had a birthday on the previous Wednesday. Um, so that automatically everybody thinks that, yeah, I didn't do anything that weekend. I've been busy. I was busy, but the gentleman that owns this equipment, I told him that even with all that going on, just that weekend, I knocked out 18 radios, 18, just that weekend alone. And that was with me being gone most of the day Saturday. That was with me being exhausted Friday and not um, doing much there. So anyway, that being said, um, I do stuff all the time. I got a steady flow in and out here. I don't always do a video. Sometimes it takes a while to sit down and do a video. Sometimes I think it's probably something y'all probably don't want to see, or isn't that special to anybody? Well, in reality, they're all special. Just because I see it all the time doesn't mean y'all do. Looking back on it, I don't think I've done a video on a 959 Galaxy. I've done many of these, but I don't think I've done a video on one. So, a little backstory. Gentleman had a problem with a Techstar 350 high drive amp. Said it wasn't working. No key, it wouldn't key up, it had no power out, blah, blah, blah. He sent me the amp, went through it, and started checking things out. Needed a key and transistor. This box was originally a DEI box, but before he bought it, somebody dropped Toshiba 2879s in its place. That being said, they sold it to him as a Toshiba box, and he had more in it than he should have. It was still tuned for DEIs. So even changing get it keying up and getting it working, this box was only doing maybe 100 watts peak. So I talked to him, did some retuning on it, and got it where it's pretty close to where it needed to be. He got it back, made some good contacts on it. It's working like it should. And he said, I'm running it with my Galaxy 959. I don't know if it's ever been tuned or how it's set or what's what. And he said, every time I key it up, I get this SWR alert light. He said, and I know my SWRs are good. I've checked them. Everything's good. But with the amp off, if they're good, with it on, it's high. Here on the bench, I wasn't showing any reflect at all on this box. With this radio, I was showing a ton with just this particular radio. I could switch radios, not have a reflect issue. I could go back to this one, and I had a reflect issue. So this has been a project. Both of these are now ready. And other than I've got to upgrade some power wires, because we got some little shorties on here, and I've got alligator clips just grabbing them. But I'm going to change out the power wires for him, put a quick disconnect on it. I made myself some notes. I get these notepads from St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That's actually one of the charities that I do support. If you can make heads or tails of my notes, correct frequency for 27 or for channel 20 is 27205. It was reading 27204.50. Not terribly off, but it was off enough to be noticeable if somebody was off a ways. So, typical alignment issues, straighten that out, got it solid. All right, as far as the tuning, variable power all the way down was 2.5 watt key. All the way up was 6 watt key. Swing to 12. Other than my notes, the output impedance coming out of the antenna jack off this radio was not a 50 ohm load. It was coming out to be like 78 or something like that. I didn't write that down, but anyway, that's something that most people never see. Wooden stick here, because I use wooden sticks to check for solder joint issues. I mean, I've got all kind of neat little tools that people don't ever see, because I use them all the time. There again, I do stuff like this all the time, and y'all never see it. So this is a little bit longer video than normal, just to show you a few things. So now, let me roll the variable power all the way down. Drop the power scale all the way down. No modulation. So let's see. Let's key it up. There's a 1 watt key. Roll the variable up to 9. So 1 to 9 on variable. Okay. And I'm going to leave that about a 2. All right. So we got a lot more range on the dead key, which is important when you're running an amp. All right. With this amp, even though it's a high drive, if he's all the way at the bottom, it may be too low. The relay may chatter. But anything from 1.5, 2 watt, 3 watt, 4 watt, it should be okay. But you want to be able to have that adjustability so you can tune it in right and get it where it needs to be. Audio check, 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 check. From 2 watt key, it will peg that 20 watt scale. She gets up to about 25 now. Audio check. I don't know if you can see it, but audio. Showing 22.5, 23. But that's not the point. I mean, that's from 12 watt swing. That's a big jump in audio. Let me turn that on. And I'm going to turn this other radio off since I'm running an amp. 2000 watt scale. Audio. 2 1/4. I'll drop it down to the 200 watt scale so we can see the dead keys. So with a 2 watt key in, that's about a 75 watt key. All right. Variable works as it should. All right. I can go up, I can go down. Audio check. All right. And initial complaint. SBR light is not coming on. Flip it to the SBR meter side. Not coming on. And let me throw everything back to high. Peg that SBR meter. Boom. Below a 1-1. Of course, I'm going into a dummy load on this. Had a separate one in line, use the bird, put it in line, checked reflect, doubled my coax length, checked it, still had absolutely no reflect. And yes, the SBR alert does work. After I've been sitting here, the freak counter has just jumped up a little bit, so I will address that for him real quick too, because I know the alignment is solid on this radio. But there we go. We just did a 10-minute video, and most of these are only 3 or 4. So this may take a while to load, but I'll get it up there.